Hello, I'm Paul Peterson. There are departments in the city of Los Angeles that have established foundations to help support new and innovative programs provided by the city of Los Angeles. We'll examine 3 of those foundations on today's program. Stay tuned for Aging in LA. As we all know, the City of Los Angeles provides many services to its citizens through various departments, including the department that produces this television program, the Los Angeles Department of Aging. In order to fund and support programs that sustain and enhance the quality of life for all residents of the city, some departments have formed foundations to establish fundraising efforts. Our guests today represent 3 City of Los Angeles foundations. Carolyn Wagner, Executive Director of the Library Foundation of Los Angeles, Laura Trejo, General Manager of the Los Angeles Department of Aging, which has recently established a foundation, and Karen Wagner, President of the Los Angeles Police Foundation. Thanks to all of you for being here. Now, I've got to tell you, 2 of you at least represent my favorite foundational work, libraries. Carolyn, let's start with you. What's the main mission of the Library Foundation?
Well, the Library Foundation was established after the terrible fires in the late 80s in order to supplement the public support that the city of Los Angeles was providing. So we raised funds from the private sector, from individuals, corporations, and foundations to fund programs that benefit children and teens, technology, seniors, and the general public.
Well, it's a remarkable facility. I'm forever there getting books on tape and looking for some of my research material. And Laura, good news at the Department of Aging with this new foundation. What's the purpose of the new Aging Foundation?
The purpose of the Los Angeles Foundation on Aging is really to expand and support the mission of the department, to look at innovation, potential of programs and services that we can provide to the community, and to really give us the tools and the financial means to be able to enrich the lives of older people in our community beyond the grant-funded programs that we have.
Well, it's so important. You and I have talked many times about the need to find and select and highlight those model programs that are working so well. And speaking of that, the Police Foundation, this has been part of our community for forever, hasn't it?
9 years.
I'll be darned.
9-year-old foundation. And our purpose is to create partnerships to provide resources to the LAPD that they might not get in the city budget, and also to enhance LAPD community relations.
Well, and I think that's so important. People sometimes forget that this thin blue line is more than just police work. It's our community. The active help with children in the community particularly is an important component.
Exactly.
Will there be a senior component, an outreach to seniors within the Police Foundation?
Actually, within the police department, there already is. The department has been very active working with the Department on Aging in the area of elder abuse. And while we haven't yet been asked to support that directly, we're looking for some foundation grants to be able to work with the Department on Aging.
Well, that's a large and growing problem. I know we've talked about, we've had FAST team members here who can respond right away to elder abuse, and particularly a growing issue of financial abuse with seniors. Oh, that's a worthy mission to undertake, and a big one. Carolyn, tell me about the recovery from that awful fire that happened some years ago. Because the library, the Reardon Library, looks great now.
It does look wonderful. Well, the upside, if there was a silver lining to the fire, it is that the community rallied behind the library and allowed us to not only recover from the fire, but to expand the Reardon Central Library.
Can you describe some of the services that the library offers?
Absolutely. Well, we support literacy and learning. We elevate the intellectual climate in our community, obviously we have enormous collections at Central Library and the 71 branches throughout our community. We have wonderful technology resources for the members of our community. We're combating the digital divide. Many members of our community still don't have access to technology. We provide it. We have very active after-school programs for children and teens, a wealth of opportunities for teenagers. Each one of our libraries has a teen area and a children's area. We have over 200 cultural programs for free of charge to members of our community throughout the year. At Central Library, we have 80 programs throughout the year in the evening.
Now, you also you have a speakers program as well,
Yes.
right?
Yes, we have Aloud at Central Library, and some of those programs, in fact, are available thanks to this television station. So we're very grateful.
Well, it's so important. Just in the interest of full disclosure, I've written and authored 16 books, so libraries to me are a very precious thing. And I wish people would understand it's not just dusty old books on a shelf.
Absolutely
For
not.
example, the library's website is fabulous
It is
easy to
wonderful.
use.
And we have 110 million hits on our website every year. And I would like to add for your viewers that we have wonderful databases that are available online, including databases that relate to health issues, health issues that affect all of our families,
Yes.
and just a range of subjects.
Lori, there are so many things to support that frankly can be overwhelming unless the community organizations get together and say, we've got to address these issues.
Absolutely. The Department of Aging provides supportive services to Los Angeles senior community. We have the second largest population of older people in the United States.
Wow.
And it's one of the most diverse communities as well. We provide in a range of unique services, I believe. Unfortunately, we also don't have the funding to be able to provide the level of service that we'd like. For example, one of our growing demand areas is home-delivered meals for seniors that are very frail, that are aging in place. Sometimes a meal can be the difference between staying at home or being institutionalized. And so for us, that's a major pressing need that we have in the community. We encourage folks to reach out to us and help us to maintain older people in their homes. Programs like Aging in Los Angeles are things that are in addition to what our funding allows for. So these are the wonderful things we can do for the community with the support of the community.
Right, and people, I really hope you understand how far-ranging this is and the future that you're looking at, Laura. We've talked about this many times. This rapidly aging population is in the millions.
Yes.
And Los Angeles has an opportunity, because of our diversity and the unique transportation issues, to take the lead on this.
Absolutely.
To show the rest of the country, look, this is how it works best.
Absolutely. Really, one of the goals of the department and the foundation, which is shared, is to make Los Angeles a great place to grow old in. And I think that is the standard we are reaching for, that every older person finds the support, the services, and the activities in the community that they wish to have in order to live a good late life.
Okay, Laura, let's take a look at some of the activities at our senior centers while you describe what the Los Angeles Foundation on Aging is doing to meet the increasing needs for seniors and their caregivers.
We have congregate meal sites throughout the city of Los Angeles. We have physical activities like aerobics, dancing, chair dancing for those that cannot move as well. We have billiards, as you can see, at some of the centers. Bingo is a very entertaining pastime for many seniors, and other types of games. We also are putting a great deal of effort on active aging, really encouraging seniors to move their bodies and stay healthy as much as possible.
Well, it's so important, and I particularly like the focus on caregivers, of which
Yes.
I am one,
Yes.
as you know, because they really need extra support. This is all kind of new, taking care of parents or loved ones who may be in their 80s, 90s, or beyond. Now, the Police Foundation is able to supplement the actual city budget for the police department, right? For those special programs that you feel a need for?
We don't provide the things that you think the city does and should provide. We don't do weapons, ammunition, vehicles. We don't build buildings. But there are so many programs in training particularly and in youth programs where we have doubled and tripled the grants that we've been making. And we also supply necessary equipment that sometimes just doesn't get picked up in the city budget. Right after 9/11, there were a lot of needs of the bomb squad and the anti-terrorist division, so we picked up a lot of equipment for them. Recently, we've been buying some equipment for the gang details to assist them in surveillance and to help keep them safe.
Right. Well, the gang issue here in Southern California is, we have to address it. It's so important, and tracking it because it occurs in so many different languages is really difficult. Are you able to give support for some of the language training for the LAPD in their other languages that they may need in their police work?
Many of the officers come on already speaking other languages.
Of course.
There's something like 80 languages actually spoken on the department, and everybody gets basic Spanish training while they're at the academy. So that's part of their regular training, and we don't fund that. But we have been providing some assistance in computer programs that enable people to identify things in other languages, and that's been very, very helpful. We're also doing a juvenile impact program. We funded it as a pilot and had it evaluated, and it seems to be a very effective program for kids who are having problems in school, truancy, minor scrapes with the law. We put them in a program, but the key to the program is not just that the children are participating, but their parents must participate in a parenting program, and we do that bilingually. We have classes in English and Spanish.
Well, that's so important, and it's funny, from my perspective, I can see the need for the outreach to juveniles in particular, to let them know that, you know, this officer is not an enemy, this is part of your community. But over time, I've seen that there is a need to reach into the senior community and remind them of the risks to their physical safety, to their emotional and financial well-being. So those programs might be an interesting target as well for the Police Foundation.
Absolutely. Everything that we fund is on request from the LAPD. Where they need help, where there isn't adequate funding, they come to us, and we try to respond as best we can. The more money we raise, the more we're able to fund, obviously. But we are aware of one foundation in particular that is very interested in elder abuse, and we would love to work with them and get some funding from them.
Well, I think, Lori, you'll agree with me, the partnerships are really the way to go now, because there's a great pool of expertise out there among the various foundations.
Actually, partnerships are very important to us. One of the projects that really was the impetus for us to consider the foundation was the fact that we wanted to establish the File of Life for the city of Los Angeles. We had a show here
The File of Life
that.
is if our first responders come to a home and see a sticker on the window that they may know there are special needs in that home. And it's a great program.
And we actually didn't have any funding to be able to do that. It was not part of the work that we normally would do. And so it was a partnership between LAPD, LA Fire, Sheriff's Department, and other first responders. And we went and looked for corporate sponsorship to do it. And really that started us to think, what other things could we be doing in the community that really enhance the quality of life for everyone, their safety, their well-being. And so that's really one of the genesis points, as it were, for the Department of Aging actually considering developing this foundation.
It's a good idea and much needed, because there are overarching issues. Now, the Library Foundation, how are you handling the outreach programs, getting to shut-ins and people who may be isolated?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that we have wonderful opportunities for volunteers that would include the opportunity to...
Let's say that again. Volunteers.
we have, but we make arrangements to get the books to the shut-ins at the individual library branch level. And we have a wonderful inter-library loan program that allows people to access books that are not available only at their own branch.
I've got to interrupt because it's time for a short break. When we return, we will continue our discussion on City of Los Angeles Department Foundations. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, buddy! Don't you know you should never leave a cooking pan unattended? And a working smoke detector can warn you of a fire. Like the one behind me. my hero!
Next time, listen to the ball. Have a smoke detector and a fire extinguisher that work.
How'd you know?
The ball called.
What would you say to access to free or low-cost healthcare coverage for children? Or access to a cash refund through the Earned Income Tax Credit? Or access to free money for college through state and federal grants? And even access to groceries through the food stamp program.
They were at my house yesterday.
Open the door to access. Call 877-481-1044.
Got any sugar?
Welcome back to Aging in LA. Today we are discussing the role of city department foundations in Los Angeles. Our guests, Carolyn Wagner, Executive Director of the Library Foundation of Los Angeles, Laura Trejo, General Manager of the Los Angeles Department of Aging, and Karen Wagner, President of the Los Angeles Police Foundation. Karen, can we talk a bit about the opportunities to contribute to the Police Foundation, how people do it, and how can they know their dollars are going just where they want them to?
The first thing I would say is if somebody calls on the telephone and says they're soliciting for the police, be assured that they are not. We say that if they call and say they're a cop, it's a con. So I encourage your viewers...
If it's a cop, it's a con.
I
Okay,
encourage
right.
your viewers not to give through telemarketers. The way we accept donations is through our website and also through just checks in the mail and through events that we have. And we assure our donors, we've had a 4-star rating from Charity Navigator for the last 3 years. And that says that we are managing everybody's philanthropic dollars very carefully and very responsibly, and we take that seriously. We have a board of directors of 35 business and civic leaders, and they are responsible for making sure that we keep everything very, very clean.
And do you have a couple of large events each year?
We do.
Focus
we
funding?
do. Coming up on May 10th, we have the Medal of Valor, which awards the highest level honor to Los Angeles police officers who've risked their lives to save others. And they'll be awarding 19 Medals of Valor on May 10th. And that event is open to the public. We have general ticket sales for the Medal of Valor. And if anybody's interested in that, they can call our office or check our website, and I know that information will come up later
Yes,
in
it
the
will.
show.
And as I always remind our audience, get pencil and paper out because we're going to have numbers and websites for you. But we've got some tape. And I'd like you, Karen, if you would please, to take a peek at this and help explain what the money goes for.
Great. We fund, obviously, programs, equipment, and training for the Los Angeles Police Department. And we're very proud of the men and women who do protect and serve our city. So it's everything from equipment, as I said earlier, for gang surveillance, for the bomb squad. We provided a training facility inside another facility for the Air Support Division. And our top priority is officer safety. All the men and women that you see here, our concern is to keep them alive and to keep them safe. So we do many, many things for officer wellness. The dive team that you saw diving into the water, we have provided them with all sorts of equipment, from air equipment to things that help them do underwater work, including a boat that we had refurbished so that they have a command center now.
Well, we have that every year with the Swiftwater rescue when
Exactly.
the Los Angeles River floods and kids, I don't know, there's something fascinating about getting down there and seeing all that water in our system.
It's true. What you might not know is the dive team works primarily in the port, and they do hull inspections on ships to make sure that there are no bombs, no explosives, nothing coming in that could hurt the rest of us. We also, you see a bomb squad dog. We have a fund now for the LAPD canine unit.
Great.
And people who are particularly interested in taking care of the dogs, we have a special fund set up just for that. And the dogs are officers in the department and have the same rank as their human partners.
Isn't that fabulous? Well, you're doing good things here, and there's lots to support. Laura, I wanted to ask you, where where are we going to go with 78 million baby boomers in the next 15 years turning into seniors?
Well, hopefully we will reinvent what aging means.
Yeah.
We will reinvent how our communities are designed to become more livable communities, taking into consideration the unique needs of older people. That is something that we are very much looking into. I think it will affect every aspect of the fabric of our society, and I think it could be very exciting. We have some creative older adults that are helping to lead the way and teach us what kinds of things we need to be doing. So I am very excited at the opportunity and the challenge that are coming with the boomers.
Well, I am too, and libraries have always been the repository of our wisdom and our history.
Right.
So the Library Foundation has a role to play here as well.
Absolutely. We are the People's University.
Yes,
You know,
indeed.
Every member of our community has the opportunity to use our resources free of charge. And, you know, truly, the Library Foundation and the Los Angeles Public Library, in my mind, you know, is among the most important educational and cultural institutions in our community. We're promoting literacy and learning. We're supplementing the public schools, parochial schools. We're also supplementing the social services system in a very important way. So, you know, I feel very strongly that we are elevating the quality of life for every single person in our community, regardless of whether they use the library, because everyone is the beneficiary of our resources.
Absolutely, and you know, I'm a patron. I mean,
Right.
I'm in there. My 91-year-old mother-in-law loves her books on tape since
Right.
reading is a challenge now, as are
Yes.
crosswords, unless we get the big
Right.
books.
Right.
But more importantly than that, we can actually congregate in a library.
That's
we can go as a
absolutely
family.
true. That's right.
And especially that Reardon Library, it's so wonderful. If you haven't visited there lately, you got to get down and see it.
Yes, and we have 71 additional gorgeous libraries,
Yes.
you know, from San Pedro to the far reaches of the San Fernando Valley,
Yes,
out
indeed.
into East Los Angeles, and we really have invested in architecturally stunning libraries that also include art that members of our community have created. And so we're so grateful to the members of our community for their financial support. It's
Well,
so
it's
critical.
critical. You know, money really is the lifeblood of these community organizations. And in a few moments, we're going to give you telephone numbers and websites if you are moved to participate. But I like the volunteer part of it too.
Right.
In our neighborhood library, we have many seniors who volunteer their time to teach reading or
Right.
ESL classes
That's right.
for our youngsters. And I love the intergenerational aspect of
Every
that.
one of our libraries has a grandparents in books program.
Perfect.
And one does not have to be a grandparent to participate. One could be an aunt, an uncle,
Right.
or just a friendly member of the community. And so we encourage viewers to participate in that program. Also, we have a serious problem of adult illiteracy
Yes,
in
indeed,
our
we do.
community. And through the support of a very generous member of our community, Carolyn Singleton, we've established 13 adult literacy centers throughout Los Angeles.